the weak, you have not strengthened, nor have you healed the sick, nor bound up the broken, nor brought back the driven away, nor sought what the lost. Ito po ay makita natin sa Ezekiel 34 verse 3 and 4. So what is the role of the church? Ano ang role ng church sa mga pangangailangan na to? The role of the church is to be a safe place and refuge. Is to learn about the good shepherd. So pag nalaman natin ang good shepherd, walang iba kundi ang ating Panginoong Jesus, we can be the good shepherd to this fellow. Sa mga kapatid natin na they were victims of abuse or they have traumatic experience, whatever, to feel the comfort and warmth of His protective care, and to feel the support and care of one another. So, sino ba sa atin dito, sa kalagitnaan, na hindi nakakaranas ng trauma? Meron ba? Hindi pa nakakaranas ng trauma? Okay, so inaamin nyo, lahat tayo ay nakakaranas ng trauma. Whatever degree o whatever level ang trauma na naranasan natin ito ay bahagi ng ating buhay. Traumatic experience is something that is not normal, stressful. Halimbawa, namatayan, nawalan ka ng mahal sa buhay, o di ka nagkaroon ka ng problema sa pera, nawalan ka ng pambili ng pagkain, and many other aspects in our daily lives that we experience this trauma. So, lahat tayo nakakaranas nito. Pero, may mga ibinigay ang Panginoon ng mga nilalang o mga tao sa loob ng iglesia that they could give answers to our trauma or to our traumatic experience. So, dito po sa Romans 12, verse 10 and 15, ayos ko pong buksan natin ang ating mga banal na kasulatan. Kung meron po ay sasabayan. Sasabayan niyo ako dito. Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Okay, sinasabi mo dito sa English. Be kindly affectionate one another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another. And sa verse 15, sinasabi ko dito, rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Makisaya daw tayo sa mga tao na nagsasaya, nag-celebrate, pero makikiramay din tayo sa mga taong malulungkot. So that's why our church ay meron tayong tinatawag na ACS, Adventist Community Center. Ito yung nag-i-extend ng ating relationship from the church to the community. So kung mayroong mga nabahaan, nasunugan, or many other misfortunes na nangyari sa ating paligid, we reach out to these people because we believe that this is what God wants us. Ito ang gusto ng Panginoon. Sa ating lesson kanina, ay isa sa mga point na na-stress doon sa atin is yung oppression of the poor. Ito ay injustice, social injustice. And of course, ito yung abuse na nangyayari with higher authorities. Ang kawawa ay yung ordinary people. So, nag-meeting kami doon sa Quezon City because I'm one of the nag-iisa akong mentor doon sa through ECS. We reach out for people na nagkaroon ng problem, especially yung mental health. And napansin po namin, kala namin sa aming district ay walang cases. Napakarami pala doon sa amin sa District 1. Quezon City is District 1 to 7. At nung monitor namin ay napakarami pala doon ang cases. There were in people, especially women, are experiencing traumatic experience because of abuse. Dahil sa may mga perpetrators that they belong to higher officials. So, ito yung mga nire-reach out namin para mabigyan ng lunas yung kanilang mga traumatic experiences. So, I think the church must also have this. Kasi minsan sa ating church ay masyado tayong program-oriented. Basta matapos na yung program, maramos na yung program, okay na. Pero ang nice ng Panginoon is, nung nandito sa sanlibutan is, what service can we do for these people? We must be service-oriented. Ano ba ang mai-offer natin para itong mga taong ito, their pain must be alleviated or kahit bawasan man lang and then dahan-dahan na maibalik sila sa normal. So, dito ay, nais ko pong ikwento ang isang pangyayari. Ito ay totoong nangyari sa US. Si Jane, lagyan natin ang pangalan si Jane, ay isang asawa ng evangelist, pastor. And he's also a Sabbath school superintendent. Pero he was experiencing what you call, nakakaranas siya ng tinatawag na abuse from her husband, sa mismong asawa niya, and his children, and her children at the same time. So, dumating yung panahon na hindi niya nakaya. Hindi niya nakaya at siya ay iniwalay niya ang kanyang asawa. And from that time on, sinisipa siya ng mga kapatid. Sabi sa kanya, bakit hindi ka nagpukasan ng marami at nanalangin ng marami? Sana na-save pa ang inyong marriage? Because these brethren did not understand the situation that he was abused. He was physically and sexually abused by the husband. And after that time, ay pinilit siya na mag-resign sa posisyon niya. Di ba? Napaka-trauma yun. And he was not included in the women's circle of the church. Tinanggal siya. And ang nangyari sa kanya ay ang kanyang inaasahan na church na mag-kup sa kanya ay nagtaboy sa kanya na umalis. And she lost connection with the church together with his children, together with her children. So napakalungkot na pangyayari na mapakinggan o makita natin ang mga situation na ito. So the victim's prayer is not guaranteed that the perpetrators will stop the abuse. Sabi ko sa kanya, panalangin. Napakadali kasi magano tayo. Manalangin ka, kapatid. Kailangan mo you have to fast for it. Pero, hindi ang panalangin ang nakapag-stop ng abuse or the perpetrator of the abuse. It is the separation. Kailangan na niya humiwalay. But the fundamental part of God's government includes freedom of choice. So pinili niya. There is always freedom of choice even in relationship sa mga mag-asawa, sa mga kapatid. Even the government is always the freedom, yung tawag na freedom of choice. Dwayne struggled to find a church where she felt safe because the lost sheep and her children were never seen in the church again. So napakahirap ng kanyang kalagayan hanggang dumating ang panahon na she was never connected. So dito ay ang World Health Organization nagkaroon ng survey at sinabi na 3 out of 3 women, 1 have been subjected to physical and sexual abuse. Ito po ang survey ng United Nations sa women's. So, why women? Bakit mga babae? Karamihan kasi na subject dito is mga babae. Study shows that men's brain are 10% larger than women. Yon, amin niyo o hindi, ito ay scientific research and the truth. Mas malaki ang brain ng mga lalaki by 10% bigger and larger than women. But this fact has no impact on intelligence. Kung titingnan po natin, in men, one part is larger inferior parietal lobule, which is limited to solving problems like mathematics or judging speed and estimating time. Ito po yung ng mga kalalakihan. Pero sa mga babae naman, women have larger hippocampus and more neural connections. Mas marami ang ng mga babae, yung mga neurons. Ito yung nagbibigay ng mga message to all parts of our body. And ang neural connection density, meaning that they are able to process and absorb information. Women have both verbal, meron silang both sides ng brain, ang mga babae ay meron silang left and right na verbal capacities or centers. Pero yung mga lalaki, meron lang sila sa left side. Pero yung mga lalaki, hindi sila talaga pala salita. They always focus on one. Isa lang ang focus nila. And dito po makita natin na kahit yung mga babae madaldal sila, di ba? Magdaldal sa yung mga babae. Huwag lang sumobra. Huwag lang sumobra, no? Kasi pag sumobra na, baka magsawa na yung asawa ng mga lalaki. Women are always talkative. Talagang maano sila. Hindi sila talaga pwede na nakahimik lang sa isang tabi. And kung titingnan po natin,